So it's September, probably. And you know what that means? It's fall time. School's back in session. All of the things are singing. The leaves are falling. You get it. And that means one thing: fall soaps. So that's what we're doing today. And it's going to be awesome. And I will tell you more about all of the awesome in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And you are here for day 354 of 365 days of soap. And today, we are doing one of two pumpkin soaps for my line this year. And I wanted to do it different this year because I'm always big irritated that the scents that I want to use for fall and winter always discolor. And instead of actually putting forth any effort into coming up with a better design, I usually just let them discolor. And so my pumpkin soaps are always brown. And I didn't want to do that this year. I've done that for like 8 years in a row and I'm bored. So I'm going to do something other than brown while still using the same scents that I usually do for my pumpkin soaps. And it'll be fun. Probably. I don't know. Let's go to the video and see if I manage to, do this right. Okay, so it is pumpkin season, you guys. And I didn't actually want to do just another brown. And also, that's how my soaping started. Yep. Immediate popped glove. Gotta love it. But I did not want to do a normal brown, which I normally do. I do a brown pumpkin soap. I put pumpkin puree in it. It has ground pumpkin seed in it. Has a white top that I don't scent. And then I put a little cinnamon stick looking thing in it that looks like, well, that's made out of melt and pour. So that's normally what I do, and I'm bored with all of that. And so I am using my same scent blends that I normally use. So this is a blend of a couple different scents that are amazing. It smells nothing like pumpkin, but it's delightful. But I wanted it to go orange. And so actually, right before I started this pour, I sent a message to the Discord Sudsers, and I'm like, hey, actually, Kaylee, because you deal with all the neons and stuff, what should I do? If I want the ultimate color to be like a burnt orange, and I know that this discolors dark brown, what should I use? And she told me to use a neon from Mad Micah's. And this is also what I was sending at that moment too. See, in Discord, see? Proof. Sending that to Discord to be like, hey, are we sure? Should it go darker? Do I need anything else? Should I put some red in? And it was decided that I should put some coral in as well. So I did that. And then also the kaolin clay is going into this, which will lighten everything up anyway. But kind of flying blind with something like this, right? Because you have a scent that you know is going to discolor. And so sometimes it doesn't even matter what you do for the coloring. A lot of the time, what you do for the coloring and what the actual batter looks like at this stage, it's going to do wonky things during the cure. And I really wanted to lean into that and try to turn a brown a burnt orange, which theoretically could be doable. You just have to use the right pigments, and more importantly, enough of the right pigments, right? Because I usually don't use the recommended amount of any colorant. So this was actually definitely a scary process for me because playing with color theory is really not my forte, like at all. I love the people that are very, artistic in all of this, and they just sort of instinctively know what colors go together and what's going to work and how to turn one color into another. Maybe they don't instinctively know, but they're professionally trained. You get it. And that's not really something that I do very well. Often I am texting Mr. Webman and Mrs. Webman both with pictures and stuff going, what color do I turn the rest of this? Like, what color should the next product be or whatever? Does this all go together? Because I don't know. I'm bad at color theory. And so this was a little scary, but also not terrible, right? Because the ultimate goal in all of this was to have a solid color bar that really allows the top to stand out. Yes, that's my head. I'm also keeping that in intentionally for Discord Sudsers that have been talking about filming woes and how, scared they are for filming stuff, just to let them know that happens too, even to me, and so it can all be edited out or it can just be left in. There's that. So don't be afraid to film. Just film. Anyway, I wanted ultimately the top of this to stand out more than anything else because the color, while I obviously want it to be a burnt orange color, the embeds that I'm putting on top are going to be the thing that really makes the bar something special without the bar being overly complicated. Now, for the embeds themselves, they are all made out of soap dough from the pencil soaps that I made, a couple weeks ago on the channel for the teacher appreciation stuff. So because I was cutting everything into a point, I had a ton of leftover soap. And so what I did with that is I just wrapped it up in a plastic bag and, kneaded it. Other people that actually work with clay call that something very precise, like conditioning it. I think that's what they call it. But anyway, I just kneaded it all together and it made a delightful soap dough that I then, as I kneaded it, just took some off of it and put some mica in for the color that I wanted and went from there. So all of these are made out of soap dough. The flowers themselves are made out of cookie cutter discs, right? Like they have those fancy cookie cutter discs these days in anything that you could ever imagine. They're amazing. And so I just rolled them out and used the cookie cutter disc for the flowers and stuff that I wanted and went from there. The weird white thing on the side is actually a star from, an extruder. So that's just a star that's going through with all of it. But yeah, I just do a fancy decorated top on an otherwise simple bar of soap because it's just the one color that smells delightful and is amazing. So I guess even if it's not, going to work and it's not going to be a burnt orange and it goes brown, well, it still works because brown is still a color that looks nice with all of this. And the only thing that I would really worry about is the soap getting so brown that the little brown pieces I put in might not be as pretty. And that is a concern for sure. But I don't know, starting out with a neon at the very beginning was just kind of wild. I've done that before as far as showing you guys if you're doing just a single colored soap, just put everything into your oils. So in this case, pigments, which works out really nicely actually because pigments are a heavier weight than micas. So they're notoriously harder to actually mix into the soap without getting specklings. That's why people usually recommend doing something like getting one of those little mini whisk things, like a frother and the battery powered ones, and mixing all of your colorants up that way. But doing it this way with the pigments into the oils, the heated oils, and giving that a mix, then actually the process of taking the immersion stick to it also breaks apart and separates those pigments beautifully. So no specks. You don't have to worry about someone wiping the soap on their white washcloths or whatever and getting a rogue, orange spot on their washcloth. So I love that. The actual color that I used for all of this, I could not tell you. And I don't know where my phone is, so I can't even go back to the messages on Discord. But I'm sure if Mod Supreme Kaylee hears this, she'll comment down below and she'll tell us what color she told me to use. But ultimately, with that, I also added some spicy tomato as well as some koi. So when it was all said and done, Quite a bit of different colors ended up going into that, which could suck for labeling. Let's see. Spicy tomato has mica iron oxide in it. Okay, that's fine. Koi has mica titanium dioxide, tin oxide, iron oxide. Yeah, and I don't know where the other pigment is, but that's going to have the weird ones that we talked about in the pigment video. So yeah, the labeling is actually going to be bad. I like it when it can just say mica and titanium dioxide and iron oxide and call it a day. But in this one, it's going to be a lot of different colors, really. So that sucks. But I learned with this first test batch what actually works. And so for the next test batch, what I did was I used, for sure, Brazen Hussy plus another orange, both the big bright neons from Mad Micas. And so therefore I was using less types of colors in all of it and achieved the same, if not better effect, like what I was totally going for. So that's good. But for this one, lots of different colorants in the experimentation phase to see, if it works at all. Yeah, I'm really driving the point home with my head, you guys. It is what it is. That's going to be, just par for the course with this one. Now, ultimately, the topper of all of this did take a little bit of time because I was very precise with where I wanted everything just to see if this design and the style was going to, work. And when I went on to make the rest of my batches in all of my big molds, obviously I didn't take this kind of time on it and everything just kind of got pushed in where it all worked because test batch did work. So just throw it all on top. But because the initial stage, the actual pouring of the soap itself was, under 3 minutes, right? It's not a long time to get your soap to, trace or emulsion and, colored and scented and put in the mold. So it's okay to spend a little bit more time on the top. Okay, now on to the cut, and this did get C-popped and gelled because the topper is, again, made out of soap dough, so I don't have to worry about it melting like with melt and pour. And so far, so good. Definitely got some extra heat, but that's something that happens with this scent blend. Every single batch I've ever done, every year for the 8 years that I've been making this particular scent blend. And so that's to be expected. But the color, it's already like so far so good. I'm not mad at that at all. It's already looking like it will ultimately go to the beautiful burnt orange that I want. That said, this will start to discolor after you cut it and you allow the inside to be exposed to air. That's when the discoloration actually tends to start. But because I C-popped it to force that gel to ensure that anything that color is going to do is going to do it. It's going to be enmeshed in, the crystalline structure and all of that. So far, so good. I am not mad at that. Now, as a spoiler, it's not really a spoiler because you've already saw the first part with my face, but I am going to point it out again at the end of all of this, where you see my face again. Just look behind me and look over my shoulder in the left, to your left, if you're looking at the video, and you can see these soaps. I put them out there intentionally so you guys could see what they ended up looking like after a cure. They darkened up to a beautiful burnt orange, and they are not going brown, which I love. I think that is awesome, and it totally worked. And so we've got the burnt orange that really looks stunning with the white and the browns and the koi orangey pinky colors there with the flowers. Very beautiful bar of soap. And I actually love that the stars, just look like little stars for sure. I leaned into that even more with the next one because I liked the look of the stars so much. But yeah, beautiful, stunning bar of soap that ultimately ended up working really well because I went to people that know more than I do about something. And in this case, it's color theory. So, let that be an example and a lesson to everybody. Nobody ever knows everything, right? I've been doing this for a very long time, but I still seek out the help and the assistance and all of the scheming and planning from people who have maybe been doing this for a year or 3 months or whatever. They have talents and very important contributions to this community that they don't think they do, because how could you ever teach, a master soap maker anything? Of course you can teach me things. You guys are the ones that are starting out and you're doing all of the cool, crazy new ideas and what happens if I play with this or I add that. I learn things from you guys all the time. And that's why it's a beautiful symbiotic relationship. So don't ever discredit yourself. I think I've seen too many comments like that recently, actually, from the Sudsers going, well, I don't know. I don't have anything to really contribute to something like this, so I feel stupid suggesting this, but maybe ... And that they had to preface it with, I feel stupid suggesting it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Suggest the thing. There is no such thing as a stupid suggestion. There is no such thing as a stupid question. And, trust yourself and believe that you are also good at the thing and you have something of value to contribute, because you do. You're human. You're awesome. And this is proof positive of that. I never would have been able to get this color if not for my Sudsers. And some people might think that's a really stupid thing, that I was not able to figure that out on my own, but I'm just bad at it. I really am. So getting the advice and assistance of people who are really good at it yielded a glorious bar of soap for my pumpkin spice, season. And that's awesome. It's also pumpkin spice season, which is also awesome. And there they are, one of 2 pumpkin soaps for this year's line. And as you can see, behind me there, they look great. They look awesome. So big, huge thank you to the Sudsers in Discord that were helping me with color theory right in the middle of it. Like, while I was pouring. Just taking pictures and saying, hey, what should I do here? Appreciate it. Especially considering I don't do things like use the really bright colors and pigments very often. They were a definite help. So those are my new pumpkin soaps, and I'm super excited to get them on the website, which they will be in a few days. So you can find them at soapandclay.com. Then I'll post something on Instagram when I put them up. So that'll be fun. Look for that. Yes. Again, huge thank you to the Sudsers for joining me today, for joining me every day. The Discord Sudsers, you guys are amazing. Love that community so hard. Thank you guys for all being a part of it. You rock. I am taking off because I have 1,000,002 things to do that involve the video I said I was going to release yesterday. So I have to get back to that. But I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.